2022 was a really big year. In 2022, I launched RTA, a membership for TPT sellers. I expanded my podcast over into YouTube. And in 2022, I focused on growing my TPT store and hiring out a lot of help with that. And then I also started a new business venture with my business partner, a membership for math teachers, and co-hosted a conference with her this year as well. And that's in addition to the partnerships that we had already established prior to 2022. All of that to say, it's been a really big year and I've learned a lot. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm taking with me into 2023. And there's some stuff that I'm leaving behind. So this video is all about what I'm taking with me, what worked for me in 2022, and what didn't work, or what is no longer going to be serving me in the coming years. And be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to be explaining why I'm leaving Teachers Pay Teachers behind in 2023. Not totally, but I'll explain that at the end. So let's start by talking about what I'm bringing with me into 2023, what worked really well for my business this year, or what things I really want to improve upon. So 2020 year was obviously, it was a year of growth. It was a year of expansion. I added on new projects and new businesses, which was really exciting. But as I mentioned in my previous video, this year is going to be all about automation. So there was a lot of growth that happened in 2022. And now this year, I really need to focus on automating my business so that I don't have to be so hands-on in every single aspect of it. And so a lot of the things that I'm leaving behind are not necessarily because they're bad or anything like that. It's just because it doesn't serve my overall goal of trying to automate my business and be a little bit more hands-off in the coming year. So one of the main things that I am taking with me into 2023 is Facebook ads. So I used Facebook ads successfully in 2022 to grow my teacher entrepreneur business, and I used it for my math business as well. But this year I have a goal of doubling the size of both of my email lists, both for Rebranded Teacher and for my TPT math business. I have a goal of doubling both of those. And so I am really going to need paid ads this year. And so that is something that I'm bringing with me into 2023 because I like how hands-off it is. You set it up and you watch the emails come in and everything is automated. Which leads me to number 2, and that is I'm bringing in email and automation. Now, if you followed me for any length of time, you know email is going to be one of those things that is, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead hands before I get rid of it because I absolutely love it. I love that I don't have to show up every day. I love that I don't have to put my makeup on to talk to my audience. I love all of that. And so it is a huge part of my business and even bigger this year than it's ever been before. But one of the main components of my email marketing that grew this year was automated sequences. I had sequences set up prior to this year, prior to 2022, but this is the first time that I've had like automated sequences for almost every single email opt-in that I have. And I added several of them this year. So that is something that I'm taking with me into 2023 because they're going to be a very important part of running successful Facebook ad campaigns and not only growing my list and adding leads to my email list, but also working to make buyers out of the people who are on my list and not just people who are there to soak up content and information. Those people are great, and eventually we hope that those people are going to buy, but obviously we want them to buy. So that's why emails and automations are coming into 2023 with me. The next thing that is coming into 2023 with me is actually kind of a hybrid between what I'm leaving and what I'm bringing in, and that is I'm going to continue to snooze on Instagram marketing. So in 2022, I really dropped Instagram. Not totally. I'll still show up every now and then with a post or something like that. And I want to continue to do that same thing. I don't want to be completely absent from Instagram, but it was definitely not a focus for me this past year. And you know what? It didn't hurt me. In fact, it was a lot healthier for me and for my business when I took that pressure away from having to show up, from having to put makeup on every day and show up in stories, or from having to make sure that I have posts created and all of that content done, filming reels, finding something that's creative. getting rid of that took so much pressure off of me. And you know what? My business grew without it. And it grew in a way that was much more sustainable for me and in a way that was honestly a whole lot easier. So in 2023, I'm going to continue that trend and I'm going to continue to snooze on Instagram for a while. The next thing that I am bringing with me into 2023 is taking naps. This is something that I started in the middle of the summer when things were really hectic. I have 5 different fairly large business ventures, and all of them are running full steam in the summertime. And it was a lot going on, and I was not getting my full 8 to 9 hours of sleep that I really do need every night. And it took its toll on my body. It took its toll on my mental health. And so I started taking naps. If I didn't get my full 8 hours of sleep at night, I would take a nap the next day. And that was kind of a promise that I made to myself. And ever since then, I have gotten more done in my business. I have more focus. I'm much more present in my business. And honestly, it's just run a whole lot better since I've taken care of my body and made sure that I'm getting the sleep that I need. So I am absolutely taking naps into 2023 and making a part of my goal for the year to actually make sure that I'm getting that rest that I need. And then the next thing is partnerships. So I mentioned earlier that I have a business partner and we have joint business ventures together. Brooklyn, many of you know her. She's amazing. And she's actually, I talked to her, she's going to be coming on the podcast sometime in the coming months to talk about our partnership and how we make that work and what that looks like, because it's something that I think a lot of people kind of sleep on and they don't realize how incredible partnerships can be in the business world, or they're really intimidated by the financial side of it or long-term commitments and things like that. And so she's going to be coming on to talk about that. And that's something that I'm looking to expand on in 2023 for a whole host of reasons, chiefly being that when 2 people are working on a project, not only does it go a whole lot smoother, it goes a whole lot faster, and it's half the workload, right? So that's something that I'm bringing with me into 2023. And then the last thing that I'm bringing with me is sort of like in between both categories. It's a little bit kind of like the Instagram thing. It's a little bit of something that I'm leaving behind, but it's also something that I am bringing with me, and that is email collaboration. So collaborations to grow my email list. As I said earlier, I have a goal to double my email list in 2023. And so I am 100% bringing email collaborations with me because I know that it is the quickest, most efficient way to grow my email list. But with that, I'm not bringing them with me at the same capacity. So I will probably do 1 or 2 events in 2023, whereas last year I did a lot more than I can even remember, to be honest with you. I would have to go back and kind of count them, but I did quite a few. And while it's an incredible way to grow your email list, they can be really time consuming if you do them correctly. And so with my business goal of wanting to automate more of my business this year, I'm going to drop about half of those and try to replace that with Facebook ads. The other things that that's going to do for me with more Facebook ads and less collaborations, it's hopefully going to give me a little bit less crossover on my list. So when I was doing joint events this year with other people or collaborations with other people, or even whenever it came time for the TPT sales to come around, I would get some emails from people on my list who would say, I'm getting so many of these emails. I don't want to unsubscribe, but I don't know what to do. There are just so many. And so that kind of told me that I probably needed to back off of that a little bit and make sure that a substantial number of people who are on my email list are not also on 10 or 12 other email lists. Not that that's a bad thing. It's not bad at all. There's going to be crossover that's going to happen. And that's not an unhealthy list. That's not an unhealthy lead if they're on multiple different people's email lists. Sometimes that's just going to happen. But I do want to make sure that I am bringing people in consistently on my own. Let's talk about what I'm leaving in 2023. And the big one is TPT. So I'm not leaving it entirely. I'm not taking my resources down from there, but I'm hoping by the end of 2023 that I will no longer be driving traffic to Teachers Pay Teachers, and that I will be driving traffic to my own store on my own website. And the reasons for that are really simple. I like the fact that I have a lot more control over my own website. I love the idea of being able to give my customers more, give them coupon codes, custom bundles, things like that. But I really love the fact that I would be able to keep all of my commissions. So yes, there are fees. Yes, I have to do a little bit more with sales tax and remitting, but at this point, I'm already doing that. I already have revenue coming in on my own websites, and I'm already having to collect and remit sales tax. And so doing it for this business also, or doing it from selling my teaching resources on my own site is not a big leap because I'm already doing it. And so that part of it is no longer scary to me. I feel really confident in that now. And so my goal is to be able to send all of my traffic to my own site and to start to train my buyers to purchase from my website versus purchasing on TPT. I feel like doing this is going to give me more stability in my business. It's going to give me additional income, and I'll be able to do things that lead me to my ultimate goal this year, which is to automate my business. I'll be able to do things like tagging people who abandon their cart and sending them an email to remind them that they left something in their cart. I'll be able to hopefully do some paid promotions with influencers in my niche to advertise my products and all kinds of other things. It's just going to give me a lot more freedom to do what I want to do in my own business and implement automations in a way that's going to be profitable for me. So that's why I'm leaving TPT behind in 2023, and I'm going to pull a lot of my focus off of TPT. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to put more resources on there. I'll continue to put all of my resources on there. I'll continue to search engine optimize my products and do all of that, but just focusing on driving traffic to my own website instead. Now, I want to hear from you. So drop a comment down below and tell me, what are you leaving behind in 2022 and what are you bringing with you into 2023? I would love to hear what you're going to be doing in this coming year. And don't forget that yesterday we launched the 5-hour Teacher Author Workshop, which teaches you how to grow your TPT business in your not so spare time. So if you missed that workshop, you can still attend it year round, regardless of whether or not you're listening to this the day that it comes out, or if you're listening to this podcast, or if you're watching this video 5 years from now, you can still snag that in the link inside of the description. I'm so excited to be back to our weekly episodes. And next week, let me tell you, if email marketing is on your to-do list for 2023, then you want to make sure that you catch next week's episode, because I'm going to be talking to Kristen Duno. Kristen is part of RTA, and she completed a challenge that helped her grow her email list by over 4,000 subscribers in just a few days. And she's going to be sharing exactly how she did that and how you can do it too. So I will catch you in the next video.